maybe, they might be inhaling nitrous oxide or something, some sort of chemical inhalant on that. She's just stopped in an industrial area right now, and it's kind of a wait-and-see thing.
Yeah, that's what it appears. I'm not sure. Did you see when someone approached the vehicle and it looked as if that person took something from the driver?
Yeah, I did not see that, but that's always interesting when you have uninvolved third parties coming over and doing things. It just creates an additional, question mark for law enforcement.
Oh, now she's exiting the vehicle, and we do believe she's a woman. She's exiting the vehicle. She seems very agitated. We're going to watch this and see what happens here. But no law enforcement behind her, no evidence of patrol cars.
I think they went into what they call a tracking mode or a surveillance mode. They have a airship overhead, but maybe it was just too dangerous for them at that point. But she is getting out, like you said. She is agitated. She's going in the trunk of her car. Don't know really what she's doing.
Yeah, it appears she pulled out some folders or files. But again, this is a reported stolen car. Unclear about all of this, because if it was reported, how did she know those things were back there? Did she have time to put them in? So many questions that we don't have answers to at this time. But yes, just to confirm, authorities canceled the pursuit, likely because she was driving erratically and against traffic. They often do that, don't they, Bruce, to avoid, dangerous behavior on the road?
Yeah, in her case, she was going the wrong way, weaving in and out of traffic, going against traffic, and it just causes a problem for law enforcement because they don't want to push this and cause an involved accident like that and get somebody hurt.
Yeah, no, they sure don't. And it seemed as if when that other person approached the vehicle, when she stopped on just a couple of streets prior to arriving here on Arminta Street, it seemed like they knew each other. So maybe she was in contact with that person, and I'm sure she likely has a phone. Again, we just don't have many answers to all of the questions that I'm throwing out there right now. And we're not seeing any evidence of law enforcement. And I'm not sure if there is a law enforcement chopper over this. These are live pictures from Air 7. So, Bruce, in a situation like this, can you share any insight as to what authorities might be strategizing?
Yeah, you hope there's an airship overhead. I would like to believe there is, as LAPD always has maybe 3 airships up overhead. They probably are trying to coordinate units to get in her geographic area and do a felony traffic stop because it is a reported stolen vehicle. But at this point, I don't know why law enforcement isn't there.
Yeah, and now you're looking, I don't know if you can see our screen, you can see the person who approached, looks like a younger man approached, and I thought he was giving her a hug or something, but then it looked like he did grab something. But when we saw her stop at Arminta, she was definitely agitated. So, safe to assume she knew she was being followed by authorities initially?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that, only because you have lights, you have sirens, people are pulling to the right as they're required to by law. So, you know the police are behind you. So she definitely knows that. Whether she's in her right state of mind is another issue. And why she would go grab all that paperwork, that's another big question mark.
Yeah, and we have seen other drivers in pursuits blowing up balloons and inhaling from balloons. We have seen that, strange as it sounds. So this isn't totally unusual, but this is
we've seen also, Joanna, we've seen cars pull over and people asking for cigarettes or something to drink. And we've seen uninvolved people go over to the car, total stranger, you don't know these people,
right,
giving them a cigarette, giving them an alcoholic beverage, giving them a bottle of water. So every pursuit is different in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Bruce, stand by. We're going to pause for a news break for ABC 7, and I'll get back to you in just a second, okay?
Now, Southern California's news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon. I'm Giovanna Lotta. Orange County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a double homicide in San Juan Capistrano. They responded to a domestic violence call around 7:30 at a mobile home on Alipa Street. They discovered a 77-year-old man and a 79-year-old woman and a dog, all deceased. Shortly after, they received a report of a bloody man nearby chasing a maintenance
Thank you. No, in this case, when LAPD arrived on scene, she took off again. And so now whether they're actually in pursuit again or they've gone to surveillance mode is to be determined. But she obviously knows she's wanted. Why she's not pulling over and giving up, I don't know. But this is some definitely bizarre behavior.
It sure is. So I must have missed it while I was delivering the news break. But so you said that law enforcement, a patrol vehicle showed up, and was there any kind of confrontation? They just pulled up behind her?
No, they pulled up behind her and they opened their doors. And it looks like they were going to do a felony traffic stop. when additional units got there, and then she just took off as they went back in their car and chased her. And so right now they're back in pursuit of this stolen vehicle.
Okay. And now she is stopped again. This is Raymer Street in Van Nuys now. And she even backed up into this parking space. So really, it's curious what she might be thinking and what her intentions are. But again, I guess the big thing to remember is that this is a stolen vehicle. We don't have any details on how she came by this vehicle, if it was, taken from a home or a parking lot, or if there was a confrontation. We don't have any of those details. But earlier, we saw her this suspect driving erratically, unsafely against traffic. Bruce, you were saying, and now, okay, back to the balloon. It seems like she is blowing up a balloon again. Hard to see because it's dark in there, but Bruce, we were talking before, this has happened before.
Yeah, I'm going to go with she's doing some sort of inhalant or, nitrous oxide or nitrogen or maybe something in the balloon like that, which is contributing to her bizarre behavior. I mean, the fact that she just pulls over into the side of the street and, as you said, she was backing up again is just bizarre.
Yeah, no telling what she's thinking. And at this moment, we are not seeing any patrol vehicles behind her. But as we were saying earlier, it's likely that they pulled away and canceled the pursuit, although they are likely, very likely, still monitoring her whereabouts and her behavior.
Yeah, one of the things in a pursuit that you're constantly weighing, besides giving out certain information, road conditions, speed, what kind of crime you're chasing, number of occupants, etc., is the traffic conditions. In other words, are these people driving at such a wanton disregard for the public safety and their own and that of the officers that they'll cancel it? It's not worth injuring somebody over, in essence, a stolen car, which is a property crime, not a high-grade felony.
Right, right. And we are now showing video of this driver earlier today. And she was going at rather high speeds. And here you can see on the right of your screen that she is going into oncoming traffic, just driving very dangerously. And we also showed a little bit earlier, not sure if we can show that again, when she was parked on a street there in Panorama City and a patrol vehicle approached with its doors open, seemingly to, as you mentioned, make a traffic stop or contact the driver, and then she took off from where she was parked. And now we have her again, not far away from where she was before, and she's on Raymer Street, and then backed into this parking spot and continued with that inhaler, or inhaling from a balloon. And sometimes we have seen, wait, what's happening here? Oh, no. Okay, this is someone unrelated to this, we think. So hard to know with not a lot of information coming in.
Well, you do have social media, and people are on social media, and they see the news reports on Channel 7 streaming on the app, and they're curious, and so they seem to get involved. It seems like these guys know that this car is wanted for something, and they're kind of curious.
Yes, and because she was behaving erratically and she seemed agitated, again, we do not know if she is armed. No one has suggested she is armed, but there's just a lot of unknowns at this point. And when someone is on edge and not thinking clearly, sometimes they make very poor decisions that can be dangerous to others. So if people are watching this via social media, we are going to urge you to not approach and to stay away.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we in law enforcement, we don't want people to become part of the problem or involved in this. Leave it alone. Let law enforcement do what they're trained and what they do best.
And at this point, our viewers might be wondering why law enforcement is nowhere nearby. Can you speak to that?
Once again, we talk about it being a stolen car, which is a property crime. and it never gets prosecuted as a stolen car. It's always like a joyride type charge. It could be that LAPD, one, is unable to find her. They may not have an airship up, and maybe they're just not interested in it. I hate to say that. Or there could be other higher priority calls going out in that geographic jurisdictional area.
Right. And, you know, there is the possibility and the likelihood, really, that this vehicle has some sort of tracker on it, and that the owners are able to track it. You know, there's the LoJack technology, which is much improved since LoJack first started. So I'm assuming maybe that's part of it. This is all assumptions, but maybe that is part of it. And now we're looking at a law enforcement agency. Is that LAPD? Is that an LAPD airship, you think?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's an LAPD airship overhead. So they're definitely keeping eyes on the car and the occupant. It does appear to be just a single occupant, a female, who, based on what we saw, doesn't appear to be armed based on the clothing she's wearing.
And now we see, okay, I thought that might have been a law enforcement patrol car, but it was not. It kept going. But to the right of your screen, again, you're looking at her behavior earlier, driving against traffic, in and out of traffic, and again, you know, in the wrong way, and at higher speeds there. And a moment ago, we showed we showed the video again of her with the balloon. And sometimes what I was going to say earlier is that sometimes in the past we've seen drivers with tanks of something inside. I can't even say what the contents of those tanks are, but and they would blow up the balloon with the tank and then inhale. To your point.
You know, usually it's a laughing gas of some sort of nitrogen related gas that gives you a high. You know, it's when you go to a dentist and they give you gas. It's the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing to the right of your screen. If you look closely, just a moment ago, she was fussing with that balloon. But right now, we are just watching, not much happening. She is in that vehicle. We saw her not that long ago pull out some paperwork, files, documents from the back of this car. Now she is moving again, on the move again, leaving her space on Raymer Street and picking up speed. This could be bad. She is now, I'm not sure if we can get her speed. We're sometimes able to get that information, but she does seem to be going fast and now slowing down. There is traffic on these side streets, and it's, 12:30 in the afternoon, lots of people out for lunch. Kids are out on summer break. Could be a bad situation if there are kids in this area, although this is mostly an industrial area. And now she's stopped again, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, the behavior on this is, if law enforcement was behind her, this would be a cat and mouse type situation. But in this case, law enforcement's not there. So by her stopping and starting again, that's all on her. What kind of weird behavior she's exhibiting, it just sets to the moments of this pursuit.
It looked to me like she was holding a backpack of some sort or a bag, and that she was packing it or closing it when we were just close up on the windshield there. Hard to really be sure, but it did appear as if she is trying to pack something or put something in a bag. Yeah, it does appear that way. So maybe she is putting whatever she finds important in this bag and plans to leave the car, exit the car, and run on foot. Again, all assumptions. We're not really sure what she's thinking or why all of this even started, where she stole this vehicle from. All questions we are not. We have no answers to these, Bruce.
Yeah, they're not giving us a lot of information on this thing, and most, and it seems like maybe this is a family dispute. possibly, where she's taken the vehicle from another relative or family member. And maybe LAPD knows where she lives, and she's in that geographic area of Van Nuys, Panorama City, and she might be going home again, so they're not in a big rush to end this.
Yeah, those are all really good points. They might know, as you mentioned, who she is. They might have already been in contact with her, at least family. And their, mental health might be a factor here too. And now she is driving once again. And I'm just getting some more information. It was back on about 12:20 that authorities canceled the street pursuit. However, an air unit was still over this suspect. And at one point, if I'm correct, I believe there might have been, I'm trying to read some of the notes that I'm getting here. There were 2 occupants initially. We didn't see that other occupant leave the vehicle, but around 12 noon, there were 2 occupants. Those were the early reports. And now this is, did she just make a U-turn? Is she following this? No, she's passing this truck. But she now just made a U-turn going the opposite direction on Raymer Street. Might have just passed Kester or is coming up on Kester Avenue. This is happening in Van Nuys. If you're watching this, you should stay out of the area. Now we see, now a spike strip. They just deployed the spike strip. Not sure if it got, for sure didn't get the front tires, I don't think. Did you see if it affected the rear tires? Looks like they got the rear tires.
It looks like they did get the rear tires, but she also ran over the curb at the same time. So it's a little hard to see exactly, but
and there's also
the thing
damage.
With the spike strip.
Yes.
Yeah, she did some damage to the vehicle. The thing about the spike strip, it will deflate the tires if it did do its job slowly. And so she'll be running on rims. But, of course, we've seen those pursuits where they run on rims and sparks and all that. And
yeah.
They go for hours.
They sure do. Okay, so it does look like her front right and the rear right tires are definitely deflated. And here's another, well, look at this. Law enforcement with their guns drawn, the spike strip on the ground in front of her. Let's see how this plays out. Hopefully she surrenders and it ends peacefully. It seems as if she is exiting the car. Is she exiting her car, or is that just her hands? Looks like her hand, one of her hands, maybe her left hand, is outside the windshield. Oh no, both hands are up. Now we can see that better. It appears as if she is surrendering. Thank goodness. The likelihood is that it does appear that they're communicating with her. And now we have more police presence. Yeah, and now we have more police. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. You go.
I was going to say, okay. It just seems like they are communicating with her. She has calmed down. She's listening to what the officers are saying, the instructions they're giving her, and hopefully this will resolve itself in just a matter of moments.
Yes, hopefully it does. However, she could at any moment. We've seen this in the past. Drivers seem to be surrendering and then they hit the gas and they take off. But she is, because in front of her, it doesn't appear like there are any other vehicles. To her rear, yes, there's more backup. But those officers who were pointing the guns at her have now retreated. So what is that about, Bruce?
Well, what they're doing is they're going into a tactical advantage, meaning what they do is a felony traffic stop. Ideally, you have the patrol cars behind the suspect vehicle, you opening the doors for cover and concealment so that they can safely finish this traffic stop. And the officers, which initially in rooftop 545, which was next to the car, are in a tactically disadvantaged position.
Right. And Bruce, now what are they telling her? She's exited the car. She's backing up. Her arms are up. So she's following instructions. That is a very good sign.
Yeah.
What are they telling her at this
She is complying with
point?
the officer's requests. They're telling her to back up. I'm not a fan of laying on the street, especially when it's 100 degrees. But they are commanding her to do what she's going to do, and they're going to go move in and handcuff her without incident, it appears.
Well, we can all breathe a sigh of relief, assuming that the last few moments of this go as planned, but a sigh of relief that she's not on the road anymore, speeding or driving recklessly against traffic. So all of this is good. And now they're inspecting the car. What are they looking for?
Basically, they approach the car. They'll check the trunk to make sure there's no one hiding in there, that this is not just a stolen vehicle, that it's not going to be an ambush, or there are not additional suspects or evidence of crime in there. So they're clearing the vehicle.
Right. And now they're handcuffing her, so safe to assume that this is wrapping up. What charges will she face?
Well, she's going to face the evading charge, the felony evading, because she didn't comply with that. You may have a resisting arrest charge, a 148 of the Penal Code. Then you have the stealing of the vehicle itself, the 487 of the Penal Code also, which will not get knocked down though taking the vehicle without owner's consent. So basically, you're looking at a lot of misdemeanor charges, and those all can be circumvented by her mental health state also.
I missed that little last piece that you said, Bruce.
I was just saying of her mental health state.
Right.
All those things can be trumped by that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, I think it's safe to say that is also a factor likely. Okay, a female stolen vehicle suspect under arrest. You're looking at live pictures from Air 7. We've been following this for a little bit of while this afternoon. She was driving erratically along the valley in the Van Nuys area and Panorama City. As you are looking at, she is now detained by officers, and the stolen vehicle is intact, although with flat tires after a spike strip was laid out in front of her. As soon as we get more information, or you can tune in for Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock for more information that we might be able to get on this as to how she took that vehicle. Again, a lot of questions about her behavior today, but that's going to wrap up this coverage of this pursuit. Again, this all ending peacefully and with no one injured.